Hi folks, this is ZeeZee. You're welcome to ZeeZee Talks. So today we'll be talking about something that someone walked up to me to ask me one day when I was out. She wanted to know when was the right time to start having kids. I'm sure a lot of you want to know that as well. So hey, stay tuned and we'll talk about it. Welcome back. Now, I was going about my day. I can't remember what I was doing. Was I shopping or was I No, I never shop. Let me see. I never shop here, right? Can't remember. Doesn't really matter because this is really not about me. Okay, this is something else we have to learn. It's not about you. It's about the other person. So hey, it's not about me. It's about this young lady who really wanted to know what to do about her relationship. Now the thing is, she just got engaged and they're planning to get married in a few months. So she was telling me that her husband to be wants to have kids immediately to get married, but she doesn't want to. And she wanted to know what my stance on that was. Now, again, I need more information, guys, before I can really answer it, give you a decent enough answer around your particular situation, because I can't generalize for everyone. I mean, yeah, there's some general rules and that's fine. But the thing is, I need to know more, because the response that I would give to someone who maybe was dating the guy for 10 years before they married, or the response I would give to someone who was living with the guy, let's be honest, some people do live with their partners before they get married. That's just the reality of what people do these days. My opinion doesn't matter. But hey, my response to that person would have been different than my response to someone who maybe just never, ever, who probably even know where he lives, just knows him dating, courting the nice, good Christian girl way. And just my response to them would be different. Now, this particular lady who talked to me was kind of similar, stayed at home the entire time, decided she would only move after she'd gotten married. So yay, she's now wondering if she can start to have kids immediately. Now, my simple response to that was a big fat no. And I didn't have her husband around, so I'm hoping he's watching this, because you need to understand the dynamics of marriage as you're getting into it. When you're dating someone, especially someone who you've probably not dated for too long, and when you marry them, it's two different, totally different dynamics. It's not the same. The thing is, when you're dating, you're going here and doing this and you're showing the person your best self. You've not lived with them. You don't really know, do they keep their stinky socks or underwear worse, just like lying around everywhere? Do you know if they snore? Do you know if, they kind of scratch unnecessary places when, they're in bed sleeping? You don't know what they do. So the thing is, when you get married, you need time to start to learn about your new spouse. This is like a new friend you just got. You need time to understand them, to know what makes them tick, what makes them upset, how you can actually build with this person. So the thing is, a lot of people rush into marriage and then get pregnant immediately because, hey, that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's why I'm here. I'm here to start bearing kids. But the issue with that is, when you do not give yourself time enough to learn who the person you're living with is, what ends up happening is you rush into kids, you start having them. When you're done with kids, you stand up and you look up from all that pushing and labor and 9 months of suffering for 3 or 4 kids. And then you look up and you find that you're living with a stranger. You haven't taken time to build together. You haven't taken time to travel together, to explore life together, to talk about yourselves together, to, just be together. You haven't taken time to bum out together, to strive together. You haven't taken time to do anything together. Because when you start having kids, it is such a sensitive time in life where someone else is now constantly on your case to take care of them. So what you end up finding is, because you do not know your spouse yet, you focus all your energy on your kid. You don't know anything about anything but this kid. And the problem is, the second that child comes, you will have no time for your spouse. You have dirty diapers, you have bottles, you'll have dirty diapers, you'll have no sleep, you'll have dirty clothes. You probably do laundry twice every single day for the rest of your life until maybe the baby's about 10 years old. Listen, I do that every day. don't know how does laundry pile up so much. Okay, I digress. So the thing is, you will be forced to take care of this child because no one else can. And guess what takes the hit? Your relationship with this new person you've just brought in. So while I understand that you're raring to go to start having kids the second you get married, don't do it. Don't do it because it's not going to help. You need time to nurture your relationship. You need time to build your foundation. You need time to pump it full with concrete. So when things like dirty diapers start coming, when things like go get the baby because I'm sleepy start coming, when those things start coming that obviously will come in marriage, and the troubles and the tribulation, when they start coming, you have built your foundation so strong that regardless of what blows, it doesn't shake you guys because you're solid. I like to say that my husband and I would not have started having kids soon enough if people did not force us. We were in the stage of just figuring out each other. Hey, we're married now, so let's just travel and do this and that. A bit selfish of us. We weren't ready to take care of kids yet. But then eventually we had to stop the shenanigans and start giving birth. So the thing is, we learned about each other in the 3 years before we had our first kid. And those 3 years were fantastic. I learned everything about him, or as much as I could at the time, and he did the same with me. So when the baby came, we knew what our values were. We knew what we wanted to do when we had a baby. We knew how we wanted to respond to work when we had a baby. We knew the things we wanted to do. He knew he wanted to be there at her recitals because she plays the piano. He knew all these things we talked about before this child came. So the thing is, you need time. And if you just rush into it, and something's going to have to suffer, and what will suffer is your relationship with your spouse. So what ends up happening is years after, you wake up for 9 months worth of work, and you see the beautiful kids, and you turn around and you have a stranger next to you. A lot of families are having issues, lack of communication, conflict resolution, again, because they haven't really taken time to figure out each other. The couple needs time, and you need to factor that in. Well, see, I went 3 years. A lot of people went less. I usually suggest at least a year. Honestly, 3 years is not so bad, but please don't do what I did. Again, because it's not about you. This was me and my husband's. This was our consensus. We didn't want to have kids before we had kids. So please talk to your spouse. But I think a year is a decent time enough before you start to actually try to have kids. And once they start coming, you have a better sense of who you're with and a better sense of your support. So that way, you guys, again, in tandem, are raising these kids with the same values and morals and everything that you learned about each other. So that's my 2 cents on that. But before I go, there's another aspect to this whole pregnancy thing where you're dating someone and for whatever reason you find out that you've fallen pregnant, but weren't probably intending to marry the person because you knew you guys were not really kind of like fit for each other. But you go ahead and marry them anyway just because they got you pregnant. That's actually worse than getting pregnant the day after you get married, because the issue is this: you end up forcing yourself into a relationship that shouldn't be. Yes, of course, I understand there's a baby on the way. It's possible for you to raise that child, the both of you, as grown adults, instead of forcing yourself into something that you know is only headed for disaster. So what I suggest in those cases is please, you can't put a child in this kind of situation. I know people tend to think about themselves more, but think about this child. So when you're dating this guy, maybe don't do the things that adults do if you're not sure that this is the person you're going to be with. Look, hey, I don't know. I'm not here to talk about anything other than babies. So the point is, if you get pregnant for him before it's time, you don't have to marry him if he's not the right person, because you need to be with the right person for that relationship to work in the long run. It's not just enough just marrying someone. But again, it has to be a consensus. The both of you have to agree on how you want to raise this child. And that's just a sidebar, because I see so many women now who are in this situation and they force themselves into situations that really they kind of run out of immediately. I really suggest that you think about that. So that's my take, Miss Lady, and I hope your husband's watching. I hope he understands that there's so many things that come with having a baby, the finances. Even if you're rich and the money's coming at your ears and you can fill your cash in the Atlantic Ocean, yeah, that's good. But the thing is, more importantly, forget the financial burden, or should I say the financial costs that having children would bring. Think about building a relationship first with the person you love. This person is brand new in your life. You've never married them before. This is the first time. Even if you guys live together, you've never married them before. So the thing is, you need time to grow together. Give yourself time before you start to bring innocent lives into that situation. So that way, when they do come, there's a solid relationship. Now, again, if you are married and you've never had some sort of premarital counseling or anything, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You need to subscribe to my weekly email letters, because you need to start to learn how to forge a great foundation for you and your new spouse. Because the thing is, if you do not learn these things just as you're getting started, 2-3 years down the line, there's going to be trouble. Because the issue is this: you have to learn the basics of marriage for it to work. If you don't learn it, it's not going to work. People give too much credit to butterflies in your tummy and to love. I mean, love is everything. Love conquers everything. But the problem is, the love we're talking about is more love that we feel as opposed to love that we do. Love is really doing. So for you to do the right thing, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tune in every single week, because I have new videos based on different things that will teach you so you learn. I'm talking to the newbies. And for those who have been married forever and ever and ever like myself, hey, tune in as well. You never know. You might learn one thing that will help your marriage change, because a lot of us know that we need to. So tune in. Go to my website. I have free information there for you regarding communication and conflict resolution. Very important stuff that will help your relationship. I held nothing back. It is chock full with information. So please go to my website and get it. My website is ZeeZeeIO.com. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to say something else to this lady who I just talked to, please leave a comment below, ask a question. If you want something more private or confidential, you don't want everybody to know the question you're asking me, you can send it to me at questions@ZeeZeeIO.com. I thank you for your time. It's always awesome talking to you. It lights my life up when I can help, or when I can talk about marriage and just make people see how beautiful it is. It really is. I really enjoy mine, and I want you to enjoy yours too. So hey, I'll be here. I'll talk to you soon. I can't wait. Take care and God bless. I'm ZeeZee.